Okay, year 8, in this video we're going to do linear equations, second order linear equations. We touched on it at the end of last lesson and we did a simple one, but you got it. So let's move on to some more difficult ones and we'll be able to start next lesson with a bang. Right, let's begin. I have 4x minus 7 equals 17. So there's my equation. I need to solve for x. Basically that means find x. First rule of linear equations, I'm sure you remember, is ideally we want to get x on its own. Now, convention says we keep it on the left-hand side of the equals, but it doesn't matter as long as the x is on its own, or the unknown, as it's called, is on its own. So let's begin. First of all, what can we get rid of? Well, we want x on its own. We don't want this negative 7 there. No, thank you. So what can we do to get rid of negative 7? We can plus 7. Okay, so 4x, take away 7, plus 7, and this is the key. Whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other side. Doesn't matter what you do, if you do it to one side, you must do it to the other. So we can balance the equation. 17 plus 7. Okay, so that becomes just 4x, because negative 7 plus 7 is 0. And then 17 plus 7, there we are, it's 24. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the first step done. Still, we haven't got x on its own. We've got rid of something. We've got rid of the negative 7, but we still have this pesky 4. We want to get rid of it. Now, we know in algebra, 4x is the same as 4 multiplied by x. So we know the opposite of multiplication, the opposite is division. So if it's multiplied by 4, to get rid of it, we do the opposite, we divide by 4. So 4x divided by 4. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So we must also say 24 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we can write 1x, but convention says we just write x on its own. And 4 goes into 24 6 times. There's our answer. X equals 6. What I will always ask you to do, and what is a really good habit to get into, is to check your answer. Take what you think you found and put it back in to the original equation. It's called a check. It takes you a few seconds and it'll give you the peace of mind to know that you've definitely got the right answer. So we'll do it over here. Put a little box, we'll do it over here. 4 times, we know x is 6, take away 7. What does that equal? Well, 4 sixes are 6, 12, 18, 24. Take away 7 equals 17. Superb, fantastic, tick. That's how you've done it. Alright, let's try another example. One moment. Let's push that over there. Alright then, let's have a look at this example. Let's have a look at 5 multiplied by 7 plus 2x equals 65. Okay, so it's a little bit more difficult, but we can do it. Now, we want to get x on its own. Okay, so if you want to, you can multiply out the brackets. FOIL, everything inside multiplied by everything outside, okay? Not FOIL, sorry, just 5 multiplied by 7, then 5 multiplied by 2x. That's one way of doing it. I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to say, okay, I want to get x on its own, so I have to start getting rid of things. Now the first thing that I want to get rid of, these brackets. How do I do that? Well, 5 multiplied by everything inside the bracket. So if I say, well hang on, why don't I just divide through by 5 and get rid of this 5 here? Okay, so let's do that. Let's divide through by 5. So we say 5, 7 plus 2x, divided by 5. Whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. Divided by 5. There we are. So these simplify. Okay, and we end up with 7 plus 2x equals 5 goes into 65 13 times. Fantastic. Okay then, so this looks a little bit more comfortable, doesn't it? We can do this, no problem. So let's move it up a little bit. We want to get x on its own, so let's take 7 away, because negative 7, this here, although it doesn't say it, is obviously plus 7, because when we put numbers at the beginning, we don't always put plus in front of them, but we know that they're positive integers, because otherwise we'd have to put a negative symbol there. Alright, so negative 7 plus 7 plus 2x, whatever we do to one side we must do to the other, 13 take away 7. Okay, so that leaves us with 2x equals 6. Bro, I think you know what the next step's going to be. Pause the video and have a go. Oops, sorry, 1 second. What have I done there? There we are, right then. We're going to divide by 2. So 2x divided by 2 equals 6 divided by 2. So that means x is equal to 3. And there's your answer. What we're going to do, of course, we're going to check. So the original question was 7 plus 2x equals 65. Okay, so let's sub it in. Let's do it. 5 multiplied by 7 plus 2 times 3. Do that first. Equals 65. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6, plus 7 is 13. So 5 times by 13 equals, yes it does, 65. We have it correct. There we are. 2 examples. I want you to copy those out, practice them, make sure you're comfortable with it, and then move on to the next video, which will progress to slightly harder examples. But make sure you're comfortable with this before you move on.